downtown Toronto, and I'm really excited because it's one of the only cinemas in the entire area to be showing The Tempest. So this should be a good one because The Tempest is all about passion, revenge, and magic. Don't worry, even though it's Shakespeare, I promise you won't learn a thing. This is Real School. Hello folks, welcome to Real School. Here we are. I'm going to call it the second day of Real School's 12 Days of Filmmas. It's not actually the second day, but we'll just call it the second installment. How about that? So The Tempest is now in limited release in New York, LA, Toronto, and probably Vancouver. You know, all the artsy cities. I was particularly excited about The Tempest because Julie Taymor's visual creative style is really a lot of fun to watch when you go to see one of her movies. You can see it in some of her movies like Frida, Across the Universe, and her other Shakespearean adaptation, Titus. Now, while some of you say it may be unfair to compare this film to other films that she's done, it is safe to say that considering all four of the films that I've seen her do have been the same kind of creative visual style, then the auteur theory really applies to somebody like Taymor. Now, for those of you who don't know what the auteur theory, well, basically it was a bunch of French guys got together and they said, hey, you know how directors usually kind of make the same feel of movies and they look the same and they feel the same, and well, we should have a name for that. Except it was in French, so it was more like je casse mon stylo. So the auteur theory really applies to guys like Tim Burton, like how you know it's a Tim Burton film because it's dark and gothic and kind of cool, and how you know it's like a Michael Bay film because it has absolutely no substance. So you see, it isn't unfair because, like I said, the auteur theory really applies to Julie Taymor. So you knew Julie Taymor was going to bring something new and exciting to The Tempest. The most noticeable comes in the form of Helen Mirren playing the main character, which is usually Prospero, and instead they change it to the sorceress, Prospera. Apparently in a conversation that Helen Mirren and Julie Taymor had one time before filming this, Helen Mirren had said to Taymor that it's a tragedy that she'll never get to play Prospero, who's actually one of her favorite Shakespearean characters. So the two got together and they made this. The tragedy is Helen Mirren really doesn't bring anything new to this character. In fact, she barely brings anything at all. My biggest critique of this film is that actually everything is very subtle, which is insanely surprising for a Taymor film and her big, brash, beautiful style. So since everything is really subtle, all the performances are as well, and this really creates a lot of problems. First off, the pacing is extremely slow. Once you get past the entitled Tempest at the beginning, it slows down to a crawl's pace, and I'm really surprised that Julie Taymor, being a director who came from Broadway and huge productions, didn't really get the pacing that the film should have. David Strathairn and Helen Mirren really just seem to be going through the motions. They have no real range, I felt. Because all the performances are really subtle, well, the connections between the characters are non-existent. Arguably, the most pivotal relationship is that between Prospero, or Prospera, and Ariel, and I really didn't feel any connection between the two at all. And there are tender moments where she lets go, Prospera lets go of Ariel and Miranda at the same time, and it's really an analogy of her letting go of her vengeance. She's been plotting her revenge on this island for who knows how long, about 12 years, and when she lets go of these two characters who are extremely close to her, it's supposed to show that her old life has gone by. Well, without the connection to her daughter or to Ariel, you don't really get that emotional impact. Some of the actors shined, however. Jimon Hounsou brought some real passion and energy to his role as Caliban, and Alan Cumming, with his great panache and his great acting, almost saves Chris Cooper with their relationship on screen. Almost. Chris Cooper is a fantastic actor, there's no denying that, but he usually plays real salt-of-the-earth, working-class Southern boys, and for him to be suddenly thrust into the world of Shakespearean royalty, he could not pull it off. And don't even get me started about Russell Brand. Only in today's world can this guy be a celebrity. I know Kenneth Branagh had some success when he brought in comedic actors into his films, like if you think about Billy Crystal in Hamlet, Robin Williams in Hamlet, Michael Keaton in Much Ado About Nothing. But let's face it, Russell Brand is not... I'm so upset I can't even think of the guy's name. He is not Michael Keaton even. Brand! Okay, I'm alright. I've calmed down. Russell Brand. But Russell Brand is not even close to the caliber of actor as these guys, even Michael Keaton.
I'll do now. Let loose my opinion. Hold it no longer. This is no fish, but an islander.
And I mean, again, how is this guy even a sex symbol? This guy gets to sleep with Katy Perry? A guy who looks like this gets to sleep with Katy Perry. What kind of a world are we living in? Alright, I kind of went to a bit of a dark place there, I'm sorry. It's the holidays, I should relax a little more. So to sum it all up, I want you to watch this scene from Titus.
Who's this? My niece? If I do dream, would all my wealth would wake me. If I do wake, some planet strike me down that I may slumber in eternal sleep. Speak, gentle niece. What stern, ungentle hands have lopped and hewed and made thy body bare of her two branches? Those sweet ornaments whose circling shadows kings have sought to sleep in. Why dost not speak to me?
If you watch that scene, there's so much raw emotion, passion, heartache, and the beauty to the way it is shot and the way it is composed is unparalleled. That little scene has more to it than the entirety of The Tempest. So that's it. I mean, if we need to say it, we will. On my scale of earn it or burn it, it is most definitely, with a heavy heart, I say this, a burn it. I went in thinking I was going to love every minute of it, and I was very disappointed. But every director has a bad movie. If you're M. Night Shyamalan, you have a few. Because it's in limited release, and because The Tempest is already Shakespearean, well, then most of you just stay home and don't watch this movie. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us here on Real School. I hope you enjoyed my review. Please leave your comments. Please, 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 please subscribe. I'm not going to get on my knees, but at least I'm begging. And like I said, have a great holidays. We'll see you next time.